It's time?
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time!
Is it time?
Hello, my fellow conformists. Welcome to another edition of Rock and Roll Revival. I'm Christopher Nelson.
I'm Aaliyah Sky, and we have a very special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Dfalco with Triggered Heart.
Yes, that is an alias of yours, correct?
Yes, my real name is Giovanni. I go by JP, but when I'm on stage, or most people call me Dfalco. My alter ego right there.
Dfalco. I like that.
It's really badass.
Reminds me of Joe Flacco from the Baltimore Ravens.
So what is your guys' origin? How did you come up with the name Triggered Heart and your alias names and all that?
Well, Triggered Heart, I came up with that because, I wanted the name to have meaning to it, And triggered, I know nowadays triggered means several things, right? It could mean, being offended, or it could mean, ready to do something, to change something. And then heart, of course, change always happens within the heart first. So that's where I got my name from,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I noticed you have a very distinct, a very 90s-like sound. You have that grunge vibe, a little bit with your music. So I wanted to ask, what is the influences for Trigger Heart?
Well, my main influence is, it's gonna sound kind of cliche. It's Michael Jackson. I grew up in the 90s era. But
that's a great answer, though. Everyone
Yeah.
loves Michael Jackson.
But I didn't really get into rock music until after high school. I knew the Linkin Park bands and all of that. I knew that kind of music. But
Like when new metal was coming out, like the
Yeah.
Linkin Park, Evanescence, and all
yeah, I
that.
heard,
I heard Korn and System of a Down were
cool
making
stuff.
their footprint.
Really cool. Just in high school, I had friends that were into that. And then I had another group of friends who weren't into that. My first half of friends were into the rap thing, and kind of hung out with them more than the other group.
Mm-hmm.
But always, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I like that music. I like that music. Peer pressure in high school. But until after high school, I heard the Smells Like Teen Spirit on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I was working a security job at that time, and I asked my coworker at that time, hey man, who's this right here? Who's that? I like his scream. Sounds very very angry, very powerful. Oh, that's Nirvana. Oh, cool. So I googled it. Googled Nirvana, playing more music, and I thought, I didn't know the guy died. I didn't know he died years ago. And I was like, wow. So for me listening to Nirvana's music after I got into it, and it became one of my main influences. I don't say that I try to polish it exactly like him, but I like the perspective that he had. Just play.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain was always a terrific songwriter.
And he does have a great scream to him. That was always Kurt Cobain's strong point.
I do like Michael Jackson's scream too. He
yeah.
has a cool scream too.
His scream is much more cleaner though. And Kurt Cobain, on the other hand, he had an anger to his scream, a rawness to it. Yeah, the music almost seems to be lacking a little bit.
I think music is lacking passion. I mean, I know someone could say, yeah, every artist puts passion into it, right? But a lot of the commercial, most of the commercial sound that you hear on the radio and all of that, yeah, there's passion in there, of course, right? Lyrics or whatnot, but it's missing the rawness. Like, for example, like Nirvana. I'm going to be going back and forth between Nirvana because one of my main influences. One of the bands that my main go-to bands. And then Michael Jackson too. Michael Jackson also had that rawness in there. Prince also had that in there too. And several other bands.
And I understand that you guys are working on a new EP.
Yes, we are. We are working on it. As a matter of fact, we're planning to release it sometime towards the end of the year. Right now, what we want to do is we want to, what a lot of producers call, ear candy. Bring out a song at a time, not really overwhelm the crowd. Although we're not famous or anything like that, so it wouldn't matter. But we kind of want to bring to do it the right way. Trying to do it the right way to build an audience, and that's also hard to build. But yeah, the EP will be coming out sometime towards the end of the year. But next month, March 31st, at Slyface Coffee and Tea in Fremont, California, we're gonna be part of a band night. If you go on and check out their Facebook, Slyface Coffee and Tea, we're gonna be releasing our single. I'm not gonna mention the name yet. I'm not sure which one we're gonna choose, but we're working on a music video also, and we're looking for any volunteers to be part of the video. It'd be great. Wear a cool costume. Punk aesthetic. Maybe a post-apocalyptic future mix in with a little grunge, wear some armor, wear something cool.
We'll have a whole Fallout type of scenario.
Why not? Why not?
I wear my vault suit.
So is this show in Fremont your next upcoming show, or do you have any other upcoming concerts coming up?
That the one in Fremont, yes, that's our upcoming show. What we're doing now, I mean, we played all over the place. DNA Lounge, we played at the Whiskey A Go Go, we played the smaller venues, like the R Place in Livermore. They always have open jams there. And we played at the Red Hat in Concord. We played at the Gilman. That was one of our
classic Gilman.
Played at the Gilman. Yeah, the first time we played there, was at about 10 minutes. We showed up late, but it was fun.
All the best bands show up late.
It was
fashionably late.
That was the first time. We played our official show there, like an official. Aside from like playing open mics or whatnot, and. I thought we were the we're the headliner. Our name was at the bottom. Triggered Heart. But rule of thumb is the closing band is at the top, and the headliner. The headliner is always being advertised at the top, but usually the closing band is at the top, and then the opening band is at the beginning. I didn't know that. So we showed up a little bit late. We were gonna have a 15 minute playtime anyway, but we did what we did there. It was fun.
Would you say Gilman's your favorite place to play, or do you have like a actual favorite venue you like to go to?
Well, Gilman, I like Gilman because the crowd there, I would say that they're unbiased.
It does have a brotherly vibe.
Yeah, very family oriented.
It's unbiased to the to what's playing. They're supportive. Like, hey, this is a cool new band. Hey, I like the beat. I'm gonna dance to it. Versus you go to a different venue somewhere, and you have a bunch of bands, and then they bring their friends, and then you notice some people. Oh, right, you're on stage, you're playing your set, and then you see some crowd dancing too. Cool, it makes you feel good, right? But most bands have like this like this grudge, like, oh no, don't cheer for them, because if we cheer for them, then that means our crowd will cheer for them, and then they won't like us anymore, or something like that. It's like this weird.
It's like this competition almost. I never understood that.
And it doesn't really exist, It's up to the people anyways. They're gonna choose who they like, who they don't like.
And there's no winner. This isn't a football game.
Yeah. I mean, it's local music. We have to support each other in order for us to get to there wherever point we want to get in our music career.
Absolutely.
Or journalistic career or anything music wise.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about Gilman. The crowd there, you have the punk rockers who really dress it up. You have the I would say emo looking like individuals. I mean, just punk rock in general. There's no bias from any context, and I think the do-it-yourself, the volunteers, the way Gilman operates, because if you play a show at the Slims or the DNA or a smaller venue, these are for-profit venues, and people go there with these intentions of a certain sense of quality, like they have an expectation, but the Gilman's not like that. The Gilman's not about getting something out of it. It's more like experiencing it. Like, people would, if you go to a show at most of the venues, they have this notion like, this band better be good. But at Gilman, it's not like that. There's such a more open-mindedness that comes just the minute you walk into that building. It just feels different than any other venue that at least I've ever been to.
Yeah, and then you leave and you have 5 new friends. It's always like that.
Everyone's going down the street just drinking bottles of gin.
Yeah, it was fun. I would like for us to play there again. I really would. Maybe sometime in the near future. We played at the DNA Lounge. We played everywhere. But you're right about that. It's more of a profit. They have you sell tickets or meet a quota of some sort.
You got to sell those drinks. That's where most of these places make their money. It's the bar. It's another thing about Gilman. The lack of these amenities. The non-profiteer means that not only does it make it, the quality of the act doesn't come into a bias. There's no algorithm. It's like, well, this type of music may be more popular now.
Yeah.
I heard it back in the 80s, the local LA venues like the Troubadour or the Rainbow, it has a rotation sheet, and you have to climb your way up to the top and prove that you can sell out the venue. You would start on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, and if they sell a lot of drinks, they make a lot of money, then they'll gradually climb you up to Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. But the Gilman, it's not about that. And that's one of the things that makes that venue more special. But speaking of historical venues, You mentioned earlier that you were playing at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Yes.
And we've always wanted to ask. We saw a show. It was the day after St. Patrick's Day last year. There was a Guns N' Roses cover band and a couple other artists.
Probably the closest thing you'll get to the original Guns N' Roses was this cover band. I mean, they look just like Guns N' Roses. Even the lead singer sounded like Axl Rose.
Although the guy who was supposed to be Slash, because he had the guitar, he had the thing sticking out of his pocket, he was leaning forward like Slash. But in real life, he actually looks like Izzy. Like the person who was supposed to be Slash looks like Izzy.
Interesting.
I thought that was kind of weird, but that obviously the Whiskey has a lot of history involved at it. So I wanted to ask, what's it like being able to play at such a historic venue?
You know, it felt good. It reminded me of the DNA Lounge, but more of a mature. I'm not saying that the folks at the DNA Lounge that go there are immature, but more late 20s, mid 30s. It just reminded me of the DNA Lounge, but a little bit bigger. But in the stage, you go up to the second floor, and then when it's your turn to go, you walk through like the backstage and go down the steps. It feels cool. It feels like, hey, this is a real stage, and
it's like a private area. I've noticed that the way they sneak through there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. The vibe is great. They got the lighting. They got the sound engineer. When we walked in there, I met the guy. Hey, are you the sound engineer? Chopped it up with him a little bit. Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice. There was upstairs. They sell food in there, and downstairs merchandise and all of that. It's an all ages venue, so you can bring in babies. You can bring in toddlers.
Yeah, because that's what babies love. They love loud rock concerts.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to start them young.
They have to wear earplugs though. So.
Well, how did it feel like? A lot of the big '80s bands started out there. How did that feel? Was that like
Our lead guitarist at the time, he was with us before he moved to Peru. His name is Simon. You find him on Facebook, Simon Franco. He was really excited. He was uberly excited. He's a Guns N' Roses fan, by the way. He's really into Slash. So his style is more influenced by that. And you'll hear that in our single release. Will be coming out March 31st. And my drummer, his name is Dave Alvaro, aka Thumper. Oh yeah, he was on it too. Our bass player couldn't make it. We had a fill-in bass player. His name is Fernando, one of my brother's friends, and myself on there. Feing on the stage, it felt good. It felt good. I looked over to my left. I saw Simon there, really excited. He was really feeling the vibe. He was dancing. We have a few videos on our Facebook page, Triggered Heart Band, and it was fun. It was fun. The crowd that we had there was mostly friends and family, and my brother's friends and some of their friends. My brother helped me sell some tickets. You got to sell some tickets to get the crowd in there. There was a crowd that was there for the Vibrators, a UK one of the original punk rock bands.
The Vibrators. I like that name.
The Vibrators, yeah. It was fun. It was fun. And ironically, out in the parking lot, selling some T-shirts, right? Had this big like a Jeep SUV that parked up there, and then like two dudes walked out, older dudes, older guys walked out. They had like a British accent, they had a British accent. They walked out and they said, "Hey, mate, what are you selling there? What are you selling?" "Oh, just some T-shirts, And they're really cool. They're really cool. And then afterwards, I realized that they were in the Vibrators band. It was the drummer and the guitarist. I didn't recognize them. They looked like normal dudes, like normal guys. And I didn't get to meet the singer bass player, but it was just quick. It was brief, like, yeah, the regular guys. All right, right on. Like, we'll see you playing there or whatnot. And that's what they said to me. And about 10 minutes later, I was like, wait a minute, were they? That was them. I didn't, it was fun. That was fun.
It's kind of like when you hear those stories on the news of people who run into really famous celebrities, but they have no idea who they are. Like some local news interview, like, "Excuse me, sir, can we get your opinion on the city council's new decision?" And he's like, "Sure," and they're interviewing Tom Hanks, and they have no idea.
Right.
So how did you like LA? Like, did you get to see other things around LA, like the scene or anything?
Yeah, the vibe there's, being in LA, it feels like you can achieve your dreams. What you're dreaming for. And the reason being is because, there's a lot of buildings, right? But when you look around, you see billboards everywhere.
Oh, they really are.
You see, you see some famous faces.
The ads are just plastered, especially when you get to Hollywood Boulevard.
You see faces that you've never seen before. Like, hey, that could be me. You just get a vibe in there. It's like the culture. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. Once you go in, it's like, wait a minute, this could happen.
Way different from the Bay Area.
It's yes, much more different.
There's a bit of a hometowniness when it comes to the Bay Area. When you cross into the Bay Area, it's like you step into a totally different country, almost. And there's LA has a much more collectiveness to it. Like, it's not a town with a set population. It cycles through people that come in and out of it. And that's sort of what gives it its reputation of the place where anything could happen, where anyone could do anything. There's no, this is my home. It doesn't have the same hometownness, so maybe if you live around the area, it's not as organic, but it's the one place where you could do anything.
Yeah, it's almost as if, the people there too, the people in West Hollywood and around in the surrounding areas, it's like, hey, they meet a new face, they treat you as if, they ask you, hey, where are you from? Oh, you're coming from here, you're playing with a band. And then they treat you as if you were, a famous person or something. Like, oh, snap, this feels nice. So it's a good morale boost for sure. The people, I wouldn't say all the people. There's some bad individuals, but for the most part, the majority, they're, I'd say they're supportive. Like, hey, that's great, that's awesome. Let's take pictures. Let's do this. Let's do that. And when is your next show? Oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll check you out, so on and so on. But yeah, it does feel like you can do anything. Of course, walking through the streets where some real famous people were at, and it feels kind of nice. Like, hey, this is what they did. This is what these bands had to do. This is what these solo artists had to do. They go through the underground, and it's hard work. It's hard work. It's not easy. You start a band or you're starting your own single career. You got to go through the back roads, and it's a business. It's a business. You have to see. It's a double-edged sword. You got to see it from both sides. But going into LA, it really gave that feeling like, hey, this could happen. Just got to stick to it.
It's a business where you can have fun and enjoy your work.
Yes.
Plenty of expensive drugs and perverted sex. That's Hollywood.
I mean, the famous saying is drugs, sex, and rock and roll, so...
Might as well enjoy yourself while you're down there.
Yeah, I don't unfortunately, I don't do drugs. I don't drink or do drugs.
Blasphemous!
So I guess you could say my route's a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit harder, a little tougher. I prefer it that way.
Because it makes the end game a lot more,
more rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be known for this because you want to be known for that.
Yeah.
It's like the music first, everything else kind of second.
The children first,
Yeah.
Kids are influenced by what they see and what they like. If they're influenced by someone who isn't that great, they're gonna be doing the same thing. They're kids, they don't know, and that'll stick to them when they get older. Versus someone who isn't that bad, then they'll grow up and their morals will change too. But yeah, LA's cool. The vibe there is cool. It's a great vibe.
Is there any other place you want to go to play, like maybe somewhere in Nevada or Arizona, nearby?
Let's see. I want to play in Santa Cruz.
Ooh,
I've been trying to get a show together there. We're not popular per se in that particular area. More around the Bay Area. We've been to these venues, and some of the promoters, they know who we are. They're like, hey, we got a show going on. I heard about you from this promoter and that promoter. Can you guys play? Can you be the opening band? Like, yeah, we can do that. So around this area, we're not extremely popular, but the name is around. You play with some bands. Like, hey, yeah, I played with that band before. They're a good band. But yeah, Santa Cruz, it's like a whole new spot. Mm-hmm. The vibe down there is pretty cool too. That's where we recorded our EP with Olaf at Noise Eater Recordings.
Nice.
Find them on Instagram and on Facebook. But yeah, that's the next spot. I want to play at the Catalyst down there. I actually got a hold of a venue down there, but since we're not known there, I don't really know any bands over there. It's gonna take a little while.
You just gotta keep grinding at it.
Yeah.
Keep finding new shows, and the more shows you play, the more people know about you. It builds up on top of itself. It's really all that you can do at this point. It's what you need to do.
That is true. I agree.
Live is everything.
You can't beat that. No, you can't beat live.
No, you cannot.
So, what's the message in your music, like the meaning behind the lyrics and all that?
Well, mainly the message that I try to put out there, or want to put out there, is I know life is hard. I grew up in the era where things were changing, and now that I'm older, I see the aftermath of it. the saying that history repeats itself. And, we're kind of in an era, we're in that era right now. Maybe not as dramatic, not as bad as it was in the past, but it's there. And I know there's a lot of young individuals out there, older individuals too. They're kind of lost. They're lost. They don't know. They're just going with emotions. Like, oh, life sucks and this and that, this and that. They don't understand why. I want them, to listen to the song, and maybe perhaps they'll be able to relate, with the struggles that I've gone through, and yeah, life is hard, but this, most people, if not all, they need someone. They need someone to be able to show the way, and someone to be able to let them know that, hey, you're not alone. You're not alone out there. I understand the frustration, and in my songs, I do my best to add my true emotions in there. Frustration, of course. Anger in there, bitterness in there. All that's in there. I want to be a light for the lost, and I want to be a voice for the heedless. Or a voice for the lost too. I want to be able to let them know, hey, keep your head up. It's okay to rage, but don't go away forever.
All right, Flaco, thanks for coming in and doing this interview with us. So don't forget, guys, you'll check out Triggerheart's next show on March 31st at Slapface Coffee and Tea off of Fremont Boulevard in Fremont.
And don't forget to message Triggered Heart on Facebook, Instagram about their upcoming music video.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming in. It was good talking to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
And thank you for tuning in to this edition of Rock and Roll Revival.
This is Rock and Roll Radio. Stay tuned for more rock and roll.